Okay, here we go. First of all, tomorrow looks good for anything you need to accomplish or talking about finding out about your truck. But the moon is void of course in late in like Sagittarius here. So yeah, it doesn't serve you. In other words, it's on your Venus Neptune thing in the seventh house. So it says, sorry to say here, no, it's not the way you feel, but it's about turning on the charm. It's like this whole Venus Neptune thing that you can put on. It's about finding where you can kind of connect to the person, and it's about the Venus Neptune charm here tomorrow. Okay, so the bigger picture. We divide this into kind of some sections and kind of spiritual things, the first house things, air things. We'll talk about that first. The and fire things too. So what we're tracking here is Pluto, which we've been talking about for the last year. Pluto going trining your ascendant. Let's keep in mind throughout these dates here that this is talking about Pluto transiting your ninth house in Aquarius. So what's the ninth house? The ninth house is church. The ninth house is church people. The ninth house is spirituality. The ninth house is ideals and kind of higher thought. So, so I think some of this would have to do with your church involvements, with the church people, with the whole kind of kidney thing, with the whole, either way that goes, whatever way that goes. It's out of your hands now. You've done what you can. So let's go back to January 12th of this year. It was a Sunday. I don't know if you know January 12th, well, the kind of the second weekend of the new year on a Sunday. Pluto was exact for trining your ascendant from the ninth house. So, and of course, Pluto is heavy stuff and transformation, but it's also this Pluto trine to your ascendant, which is what the whole kind of victory theme is about for you, and empowerment is about this year. So that's the first taste of that and an example of that, and something to think about how that is going to relate to you for the rest of the year was on January 12th. So let's move along. The next time it's hitting you exactly is September 16th, transiting Pluto trine ascendant. Let's also keep in mind when something trines your ascendant, it sextiles the descendant. So it also has to do with developing and changing and transforming relationships. So January 12th started. Then again, it's September 16th this year. And then after that, then its final sweep by trining your ascendant and sextiling your descendant is October 28th, quite close to your birthday. So it's a theme for next year as well, because that's going to be in your solar return next of the 2025. So these are dates to kind of watch and keep it positive and make things work for you. Okay? 12th, it happened already, September 16th, October 28th. Let's tie in with this, the big planetary changes you hear about in the media and with other astrologers is about the Uranus moving into Gemini, because this is transiting your ascendant and impacting your self-image and who you feel you are and who you think you are and how you see the world and your relationships. So the ascendant-descendant axis is very important. And it says your whole perspective is changing in a good way. This Uranus, because Uranus is very much a part of you. It's conjunct your sun. So this is like integrating a new part of yourself into your personality, into how you see the world, and therefore how you think and how you behave is changing. You got to be open to change and willing to change. And this big dates there are, well, hey, it kind of started on June 6th already. But that was when your transiting Uranus was exactly conjunct your Jupiter at 28, 30, 24 Taurus, right before your. So Jupiter is conjunct your ascendant. It's just from Taurus into early Gemini. So that's when Uranus was hitting that off. And then, but that's kind of letting you know what it's going to be like when it gets into the beginning of Gemini. So those dates coming up here soon. But we got to move before we go on with that. And I hope my juice doesn't die here. My phone is. So let's resume this. And we wanted to talking about how Uranus is crossing your ascendant, and this is about transformation, a big change, kind of becoming more radical, but a better friend too. Fun. It's fun. What's going on now? Yeah. So June 6th. Well, it's this thing about early June. So there was a Friday, June 6th, and then after that, it was Sunday, June 8th. And June 8th was all this stuff going on where Saturn was trine your descendant, sextile your ascendant from early Aries. And it's saying that, so whatever was going on that weekend is important. It's saying that there was sort of a taking more on, a kind of establishing kind of a foundation, establishing a foundation of something opening up, a feeling of renewal this weekend of the 6th and 8th of June. It's important. And it's kind of like creating one term is the throne, but kind of the cornerstone of a new direction, the throne of a new perspective. That coming up this weekend of August 27th. No, that's not, I don't think it's a weekend, but it's like August, it's not one day. August 27th, 28th, we have Uranus right on your ascendant, and of course trine Pluto. So it's bringing in very much about the Pluto stuff going on in Aquarius, and of course Uranus rules Aquarius. So it's all about your 10th house stuff, your 9th house. It's about beliefs and how they bringing you into kind of a new direction about using your energy, kind of career. It says career stuff is developing, and it says it started June 6th, 8th. But then it's big in August. Okay, so this is also 9th house stuff is legal matters. So all these dates, 6th, 8th passed already, but then coming up August 27th, 28th is positively significant around any legal matters. Good time for court or what have you. Then, okay, so these big aspects with Pluto, big aspects with Uranus, big aspects with Saturn, on ascendant, descendant, on relationships, on self-image. So it's like very personal stuff. Like you've been telling me about, you seem so strained lately, wit's end, kind of high strung, kind of like, kind of having really difficult feelings. I mean, I'm sure you don't enjoy having dark feelings about your family. I mean, they're supposed to be the whole reason for all this. And you're kind of talking to me about, oh, I hate how this goes. You say you hate people, but I know you don't hate people. And you shouldn't even be saying that. You're creating your own problems by saying that. And you know that. So, like, this stuff is all about transformation. In order to transform, you have to be willing to change.
I mean, how are you going to have a revelation if your head is dark, full of dark thoughts? You're not going to have any, you're not going to see no angels when you're talking about, I'm going to murder myself or other people. Like, it's not funny, okay? And if you allow your brain to work that way, you're pointing your direction in the wrong direction because you're changing and you're in control of what you're changing into. So you better watch it. Okay? Seriously. It's about you. Of course, all our problems in the world are about us. So onward here. And that's what this transformation stuff's about, which brings us to this potential relationship stuff. So we're going to look at the moon stuff, and the moon stuff in life is more imminent, more organic, more about people and life and how we live. So the eclipse coming up, September 7th, it is trine your Mars, and it says it's kind of fun. That's interesting because your Mars is in 16 about Scorpio. Your Venus is at 15 about Sagittarius. So whenever something is going to be trine your Mars, it's going to be square your Venus. And when something is you know something is in like around your Saturn in Leo, it's going to just square your Mars because you have that in your birth chart. So, but what this eclipse is saying is a shift in gears around men in your life. Maybe something is, things are likely happening, and that this continues into November with the new moon on, I got November, what do I got? 20th, November 20th. And then the full moon, December 4th, is on your Venus, 14, right on your Venus. So it's like, it looks like it's the fall when there's potential for things perking up here, we'll say, in relationships. So, yes, big stuff. Big stuff means change. You have to be willing to change, and you have to work on the change. But at the same time, whenever that stuff is big stuff is saying change, there's also this big Pluto influence, which is a combination here of spirituality and legal matters, is what positive, the big positives. And so, but I'm advising you here that the spirituality stuff is you're going to have to be a little, I don't know, it says you got to get there. You got to make some personal breakthroughs and start, I don't know, not being negative. What can I say? Enjoying your family and enjoying, you got to start by, listen to some Abraham Hicks or something and go to church, but mean it. You got to start enjoying your life if you want things to get better. Being grateful. Being grateful.